Hi everyone. Today I'll do a product review on the Dell EMC PowerEdge T550 server. We have a solid product and I'd like to share you the benefits of PowerEdge. Today's agenda is pretty jam-packed and here's the list of topics. So number one, what's new in 5th generation servers? How does it compare to the current fleet of comparable Dell Tower server models? Use case workload applications. We'll also open up the hood and look inside the server from the front and in the rear as well. We'll talk about sustainability, services, and as well how to size the server configuration to align with current needs and room for future growth. So first of all, let's talk about performance. The speeds and tech specs. There's two big changes. First one's coming from Intel. Traditionally, Intel has gen-over-gen increases of, let's say, single digit in performance. Now in the 3rd generation Intel processors, there's huge performance increases, roughly around 40%. And this is something we haven't seen for quite some time. So big performance increases from that perspective. The other is on memory, right? So it's leveraging with this new Intel architecture, 3200 megahertz memory bus speed. So with the wider bus speed, more information can flow back and forth. Some new enterprise features allowing for NVMe solid-state hard drives, newer hardware RAID controllers with the new PERC 11 card options. PERC abbreviates for PowerEdge RAID controller card. As well, since it is an enterprise grade tower server, it does have options for hot plug, hard drives, power supplies, fans, and front access box cards. Some of the other additional features are PCI Express Gen 4. So we're doubling the throughput and performance from 8 to 16 gigabytes. And this is really ideal for NVMe hard drives and GPUs as well. Lastly, peripheral expansion. The backplane can allow for up to 24 drives. This configuration is less than that. And then for the internals for it, you can allow for 2 double-wide GPUs or 5 single-wide GPUs. So let's look at the product lineup of tower servers for PowerEdge. So here, like I mentioned, is the T550 server, newly launched. And we can add up to 2 sockets in there. It has the latest generation PCI Express Gen 4 slots, 16 DIMMs of memory. So you can upgrade up to 2 terabytes of memory. And when you look from right to left and go up the stack, you kind of see some of the differences along the way on our tower lineup. So some of our entry level systems will be our previous generation models. So those are the models ending in 40. And this one, like I mentioned, is a 50. So it's a newer generation with the newer Intel architecture and faster performance from that perspective. As you go up the stack, some of the benefits that you receive are options for hot plug, power supply, hard drive, and fans, more expandability for memory and storage for hard drives as well, and then as well the second processor option in there. What you'll see is that we still are maintaining some of the previous gen models, and the T550 is an in-between a 440 and a 640. And it was specifically built that way where in the 640, if you're looking for more memory options and more hard drive disk options to install, you can do that in the 640. We didn't see that often in that type of form factor server, so we thought it was okay from the customer feedback that the T550 would be good for what it has currently. Like as I mentioned earlier, you can change the different backplanes and hard drive options along the way, as well as PCI Express slots in there. So who's the type of customer for a PowerEdge T550? So it could be medium-sized accounts, could be enterprise customers, or robo, so remote office, so branch servers for various verticals. It could be retail, government, education, anything really spread across many locations. Some of the enterprise workloads that it could apply to, so the first one, virtualization, so something like VMware vSphere, AI. It's a subject you're hearing quite often about, artificial intelligence, and Google's CEO messaged out that this will be more impactful than fire, electricity, and the internet to humankind from anything else that we've seen before. So look to see the advancements in AI along the way. You can run databases such as Microsoft SQL, analytics, business intelligence applications, as well as video surveillance and other dense workloads. So let's look what's under the hood in the PowerEdge T550 server. So like I mentioned, this configuration here does have hot plug hard drives. Let's see how they work, right? So should be fairly easy. Push in this button and then pull it out. And we'll see here, we'll have a 960 SSD mix use, and that's a 2.5 inch and a 3.5 inch carrier. And to install it back in, I keep this open and just push it back and now, and then that's it. If we looked at, so they're actually all labeled here. If you zoom in, these are 4 960s on the top. Down here, there's a couple SATA drives, right? So what if you have some larger files or type object storage? So push it down, pull it out, because it's a SATA. It's regular 3.5 inch format there, and that's a 4 terabyte. And geez, this thing weighs a little bit, right? These enterprise 3.5 inch. Probably the reason why the server is heavier than normal. Push it back in, snap, that's it. Over here, there's some larger, higher capacity SSDs. So this here is a 1.92 terabyte mixed use SSD. So a fairly deep, rich configuration for a server. Some other great things here is that there are some front USB ports here. Over here, this is the power button with that. And in the front, if you pull this out, here's a real cool trick, is that this is the QR code and service tag number for the server. So if you, for troubleshooting or getting the configuration or talking Dell support, you can just, kind of pull out this ribbon here, and it's very easy access. It doesn't come out, so that's safe and sound. All right, so now we're looking at the back of the PowerEdge T550 server. Common theme, color coding, orange. Orange means hot pluggable, hot swappable. So this is one of the two power supplies here. So just push that inwards and then pull it out. This is one of the two power supplies in this configuration here. And you'll see that this is a 80 plus platinum high efficiency power supply, 800 watts. And this kind of entails with Dell's sustainability goals with leveraging a lower carbon footprint. And to put that in, just slide it back and snap, that's it. What else do we have here in the back? OCP3, so that's a quad port NIC right there. VGA, if you want to connect out to a display, and as well iDRAC connection and some couple onboard NICs on there. So iDRAC is for Dell Remote Access Controller cards from that perspective. So yeah, that's the back of it. If we had additional cards, it'd be just in these PCI Express backplane slots right there. Okay, so now we're going to open up the PowerEdge T550, truly look at what's behind all this performance here. And I'll show you how the toolless chassis works. So you just take a flathead screwdriver and just one turn, that's it. So it's fairly easy. Then pull on this latch and then just pull it out, go. And there we are. Now we can see the insides of the server right there and get right into it. So like I shared before, throughout the server and the components, there are QR locators and a lot of kind of one-on-one basics of the map of the server and where everything is right here. I'll then remove the shroud and we'll look right inside it in just a moment. All right, so here we are. Server is opened up. We'll just remove the shroud. I'm doing this one-handedly, so hopefully it's not too bad. There we are. Okay, so now you see the insides of the server. And what do we have here? Right, so we have the two processors installed. We have multiple memory chips as well. We have an option for a GPU card and open slots as well for additional PCI Express. We have the PERC card here installed. And like I mentioned earlier, anything with an orange, that means hot pluggable, hot swappable. So we can actually just pull that out live along the way and for easy serviceability. You know, the nice thing about the Dell servers is that the RAID control cards for our PERC 700 series, they can do many different types of RAIDs, so 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, 50, and 60 as well. You can tell here, even though it's a tower server, it's fairly feature rich. It can do a lot, and with the expandability and latest generation of components, it can be a power horse for their applications. So I'm a member of Planet North ERG at Dell. What that is, it's an employee resource group that focusing on advocating the message on sustainability. And that's what we'll do right now, is talk about sustainability for Power Edge. Fun fact, or maybe not fun, but interesting fact, data centers around the world account for 3% of the world's total power consumption. And that's a lot. And you know, Dell being a leader in technology, you know, we can potentially help reduce that amount to make things more green. So our journey, helping our customers to reduce carbon production. One of the things you may have seen it when we opened up the server is the thermal design. So PowerEdge servers are actually designed to run hotter than others, and that's without any throttling along the way. As well, less power needed to cool. And it has to do with a lot of how the intellectual property of our shrouds, the cooling system of pushing hot air out, bringing in cold air in, and fans as well. So that's specific to Dell's own technology from that standpoint. If you're running at a lower thermal, then you're running less electricity, which is good for everybody, also good for your data center bill as well. We also have management features such as Open Manage, where you can adjust certain components and all the thermals from that standpoint. On product recycling, 35% of our the plastics that's used to build this machine here are recyclable, and we use that in all those little things like the latches here in the back of the power supply, the shrouds, the casing as well. And the expectation is to align with the 2030 moonshot goals is to get to 50% of recycled materials or renewable items to contribute to a circular economy. Other key points in just sustainability is we also see sometimes customers with very old servers, and we like to call those zombie servers, and you should be modernizing your install base with the newer technology. 10 years ago, you would need 6 servers to account for 1 current server now, and as well, they involve the management, the power, the security risks, so on and so forth from that standpoint. We do have trade-in programs, so talk to your sales teams, and you may be surprised where trading in your old equipment, server storage, even PCs and notebooks, via our services department, we can then write you a check for that equipment towards a net new purchase along the way. So really interesting things of evolving in this circle economy with Dell. So next couple topics, want to talk about services. I think I alluded earlier that even though this is a tower server, it was really heavy. And even if I work out and go to the gym, I had trouble moving this from the floor to here, or even from the ground floor to upstairs along the way, especially for all the components. We loaded up power supplies, hard drives. They are heavy. So what I recommend, especially for rack type equipment, is talk to your sales team, talk to your services team at Dell around Pro Deploy Plus along the way. I'll give you an example. So Dell EMC has storage solutions. Some of these storage solutions you can install in just, let's say, a 2U rack, let's say, 24 or 36 hard drives in there. From that standpoint, you actually need 2 people and a lift to properly load that onto a rack cabinet. And the worst thing you don't want to do is not only just damage the equipment, and that equipment is not cheap, is have for health and safety, get anyone hurt along the way. So great idea, for a proper start, something like Pro Deploy Plus from a services perspective. Switching gears is want to talk about sizing. Like how do you talk to Dell about, hey, I have, like I say, Christian, I have these scary zombie servers and they're 10 years old and they're at security risk, and I want to virtualize, I want to do all that fun stuff you mentioned, like AI, SQL, so on and so forth. So how do we carve out the right configuration? So step one, talk to your sales team. We do have tools to see what is good for now, what you're expecting for growth, and for how long. We're at the end. Hey, this was long. This was fun. This is my first time doing a data center review with all of you. It was an extensive list, but I think it was needed. I also feel like I'm only scratching the surface. Comment below if you have any questions and comments. Want to learn more, talk to your Dell account team. They'd love to spend some time with you on a video call or meet face-to-face in person for that. All right, thank you everyone. Have a great day.